I have another rant for both of you, and I suppose that's really what these are. They're not so much devotions anymore, but I do them under the guise of my site, A Father's Devotions, and I title this one Preparation, and it has to do with what I perceive to be a shortcoming in a general sense for the evangelical churches, the thousands of evangelical churches within the United States, Metho-Baptist, whatever they are. But here's the point. It occurs to me that a sizable number of these churches appear to be very reluctant to talk about certain external and internal events regarding the country that they reside in, that being the United States of America. And one of the primary internal events is that we are now running $3 trillion deficits every single year. Congress is spending double what it takes in taxes every year and printing the rest. But it's all monopoly money now. I mean, the old days of borrow and spend ended over a decade ago. And not only that, but while we're printing all this money, we're also one of the chief funders of the war in Ukraine through NATO. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that is an unjust war. I think we should be fighting it, but at the same time that we're doing all of that, we may in fact enter into a war with China. And maybe we don't win this war, I don't know. But the fact remains that churches in a general sense don't really want to address these things openly with their congregations. And I know that some people would say, well, we're not about the government, we're about preaching the gospel. But frankly, I don't think it's such a noble thing as that. I think it's more the fact that to talk about such things and realize the true ramifications of all of this is simply too horrible for even pastors and elders and deacons to want to deal with. But deal with it they must. I mean, I feel that we're not so much in the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, who called the people of Israel back to Jerusalem to repopulate it and rebuild the walls. I think we're more in the time, like it or not, of Jeremiah. And Jeremiah, I know I beat him to death too, but he was the prophet that came along at the very end of Judah's existence as a sovereign country. And not only would the people in general not listen to him, but the church didn't listen to him. The church was stuck on more of the false hope than they were on what was happening internally and externally to Judah. So they refused to prepare the people, much as I think the American evangelical churches, the Metho-Baptist, whoever they are refusing to prepare their congregations. But prepare them they must. I think churches need to wake up to the fact that there are going to be some very devastating changes coming to the United States. And in the midst of this, they need to do everything in their power to remain not only the light for the people in their congregation, but just as importantly, the people who are not members of their church, but who reside in the communities where these churches are. And ladies, that's about all I have to say. God bless you both.